What's happening, YouTube and Facebook? I know I was not live all day today, but I decided to do a late one because this story requires some time. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. The whole Daunte Wright. Um, Hi, everybody joining. I don't know what's going on with the comments, but they're not coming in. We'll fix that later. The whole Daunte Wright situation has taken over completely, like taken over. I'm going to be joined by two different guests. I got Bobby on here with me, and we got Casey, and we're going to get into the media's false narratives on this situation, as well as what happened. I have a different perspective from a lot of people, so I'm probably going to catch some flack on this episode, but I don't care. I don't care. Welcome, guys. How are you?
What's good?
What's going on?
Did you do the hands up, don't shoot? What was that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
You want to know the irony in that? They're saying
What?
hands up, don't shoot. If Daunte did that yesterday, he wouldn't have got shot.
Yep, that's correct.
Just saying.
Stop with the logic. No logic allowed.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know where you went.
So here's my take, right? This is how I think about it. The country has a fever, okay? Everybody's being affected by this fever. It just affects everybody differently. Black folks, when they get this fever, they immediately think all cops are racist, okay? And it's because of the stuff that the media is spitting out. Then you got cops that are scared to do their job because they don't want to be called a racist. There's so much stuff going on to create the situations that we have. I'm kind of tired of hearing about this happening because he was black. Like, when do we throw that out? Like, can we just for a second try to sympathize with irrational, emotional black folks? Okay, they're constantly seeing a black man paraded on a TV. You know, a lot of them aren't as enlightened and aware as we are, to where we can see, dang, why are you doing this again? Like, it's not that bad. So you got black people getting pulled over when cops are on high alert because they're targeted. We're going to have recipes for disasters. We're going to have situations like Daunte Wright, where a rookie cop doesn't know how to hold her own on the job. Dang, sorry. It's the airplane just sliding over.
You're good. And I'm going to correct you real quick. She's not a rookie. That's what bothers me. She is a veteran.
That does not mean, just because you have that tag vet doesn't mean you ever handled a gun. It doesn't mean you were ever in any war type situation. My husband has been in the military almost 10 years, and he doesn't handle a gun on a day-to-day basis. He's a crew chief. He's a paper pusher.
Fair enough.
That doesn't mean that they know how to handle themselves with a gun. On top of that, like I said, there's already a fever. She is nervous because of the atmosphere that we're in.
Right. Well, let's call it what it is. She's a rookie with a gun, if that is the case.
That's what I mean.
She couldn't tell the difference between a taser and a gun.
They don't even feel the same. And I'm not even a cop. What do you think, Bobby? Am I far off with this?
Well, I think that we have to remember that there's a variety of different people that are incentivized for this to be blown up. Right. And the thing that I can't help but notice always is like who's set to win as a result of this blowing up. So think about the news media, right? It's sensational. They know that Ben Crump's going to come running. A shot is fired in Black America, and Benjamin Crump comes flying, sprinting full speed ahead with an empty sack, trying to collect all the money. He loves scrambling for that money. He loves holding press conferences. He's got the mom crying. He's got the brother yelling. He made a great sandwich. He was a good buddy. He has all these kids. Here's a picture of him as a baby. Here's a picture of him as an infant. So it's like Crump wins. They get interviews with Crump. They got footage of people smashing things, burning things. People are scared. People are afraid. I mean, every single person in the news media is set to win as a result of this. So they love pumping it. The thing is that they don't even care about the collateral damage that comes as a result of them pushing that. So they just love it. And I think that is responsible for a lot of they're just like coming in from the side and just pouring gasoline on it. And and it's unfortunate because, again, they know that the more angry people are, the more juicy the footage, the more explosive the press conferences, the more the emotional tugs, the more one-on-one with Benjamin Crump about what it was like on the set. It's like they just love it, and they like it's a cha-ching as soon as they see it. So that's what I think is happening without fail.
100%.
So I decided to go through and pick every popular media clip out there to see, because I did a show yesterday. It was like 7 hours. I did a long stream, and I'm like, look, I'm glad you guys are here because now you get to see what actually happened. They were protesting outside of the crime scene. It was fairly peaceful, very emotionally charged, but for the most part, nobody was out there causing havoc, being violent. People were just crying and being emotional. I'm glad you watched it because now what is the media doing? The first clip, the first photo I seen was a clip that I played where you got two black guys stomping on a car. I've seen that picture plastered on every single media outlet.
Mm-hmm.
You're implying that there was some sort of like civil discord and blacks are being violent. Dude, I wish the public would fucking learn. You know they're going to paint you bad. And you went out there and did it anyway. And then what did they do? Man, I'm black and look at how the media paints me. Look, why you out there? Like, stay home. Why are you stomping on police cars? We don't got to do that. I called it. The same clip, Casey, was plastered all over mainstream media.
Because it's emotionally triggering. It's value. It's eyeballs. I mean, that's the thing. That's the only reason is because these people that push this are savage and they don't care about anything but money. It's purely money. It's the answer to every and all question. It's who can make the most money. I mean, think about it like this. If we were going to have it, let's say that we were having a news show right now. Mm-hmm. And we knew that we had this juicy clip. After the break, see two people jump on a cop car and smash it with a such and such and watch people loot the Little Caesars. And it's like, if you could be the fastest one that got that, it's explosive because people are just like, wow. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It is purely and simply playing off the emotions of people for money. And the reason that all those people are there is because they are being emotionally manipulated. Yep. They don't know how to understand when that's happening. And on top of all that, they are opportunists. So 15% of the people are just mad and they feel like they need to be there to be there. The other 15% of the people are mad and then are getting riled up because other people are doing it. And they're like, well, if I smash this and there's 700 people smashing it and I have a diaper on, no one's even going to know. So there's no consequence. So that's 30% of the people. And then the other 70% of the people are like, I'm about to get some free shit. I'm about to sell this. I'm about to monetize this. I'm about to just smash grab anything that I want because it's open season. So it's just like, there's everybody. And then the media is just like the looters. They're like, yo, look at this. They're like, this is explosive. Meanwhile, the guys that are on the ground, the reporters that they send out there, well, you're a national news anchor now. If you're in whatever, Minnesota, wherever they even are, now you're on. So they want to get in there. They want that. They love it because it will elevate their career. It's like a cascading waterfall of 400 people that just want to boost their socioeconomic position and climb the ladder one step at a time. And this is their big break. It's like a school shooting happening in your small town. It's like the guy that's there on the scene. I'm local news 7. It's like you can blow up. And that's exactly what everybody's doing. Everybody's grabbing their little piece of money and then the macro impact is total destruction of everything.
Facts, man.
The thing it's, I'm going to call this out also because I was talking about this earlier at work. The people that stole all the phones at AT&T, T-Mobile, and the cell phone stores, guys, the IMEI numbers, which is a serial number for the phone, is tracked. please do not buy these phones if they're posted on a classifieds page. Please don't. You can't activate them because they're classified as stolen now. They're gone.
Most people won't even realize that. And the point is that the people that are buying them won't know that they were stolen, or they'll be shipped to somewhere else. I mean, you just ship it to your boy in New York or wherever it is. Or I mean, a lot of those get shipped overseas. I had my cousin and I went to Club Space in Miami. She got her phone stolen from her purse in the bathroom. Within 48 hours, her phone was pinging in China. It's just like this thing was like literally on and gone. And I don't know if they were VPNing or how maybe they were tricking it, but like this thing was cruising. It was like they just bomb them out. And I would wager that they can be cracked somewhere. I mean, with the value that a phone has, somebody can find a way.
No, I can tell you it can be done. I'm just saying the average person is the person that gets the end of the shaft because they bought a phone thinking, oh, it's brand new. The box is not even open. I'm good. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, you're going to get the shaft and you're going to lose hundreds of dollars, or possibly because of phones are thousands of dollars now.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be going at the media. I'm also going to go at Joe Biden. We have to. Okay. Because he addressed the nation today.
Oh, did he really? I didn't even see it. Good Lord. Okay.
I didn't either. I was so focused on Minneapolis. I didn't see it either.
He's terrible. But this is a Breakfast Club. This is actually a radio show that I loathe. Okay. I don't like Charlemagne. I think he's the worst thing for the culture. I don't like Angela Yee. She's a culture vulture. She hijacks the culture. And I don't like DJ Envy because he's a simp. He co-signs everything, bro. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody does. Oh, the police are bad. Racism. While you cheat on your wife on a national platform. Okay. I don't like any of these people, bro. They're all whack.
So why do you like the show again?
I like this particular. Honestly, I like it because I like going after Charlemagne.
Oh, all right.
I will only watch just to see what he says, and then I got a whole bunch to say back.
Okay.
I hope they have me on their show one day.
Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yee?
Well, let's take it to Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. It's a city in Minnesota where a man was shot by a police officer during a traffic stop. He was actually stopped because he had too many air fresheners on his mirror.
Lies.
And he got back into his car and he was driving away and he crashed several blocks away and he was later pronounced dead. So the family of Daunte Wright is speaking out about what happened. And here is his mother, Katie.
Then I heard the police officer come to the window and say, put the phone down and get out of the car. And Daunte said, why? And he said, well, explain to you.
Can you guys still hear that?
Car.
Okay, cool.
So I heard the phone either put on the dashboard or dropped. And I heard scuffling and I heard the police officer say, Daunte, don't run. And then the other officer said, put the phone down, and hung it up. And then a minute later, I called and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot. She put it on the driver's side and my son was laying there lifeless.
That's so sad, man.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that during the Derek Chauvin trial, officers in Minnesota would still feel emboldened enough to commit these kinds of crimes.
Oh my God, this fucking guy! What a fucking chooch!
Their rearview mirror. Like, come on, that is so old school. We used to get pulled over for that when I was a kid, and I used to get harassed for that as a kid. But now you're still pulled. They need to change that law. There's a law that you can't have anything hanging off your rearview mirror and your license plate cover. You can't have a license plate cover. You know the chrome thing that goes around your license plate when you get a car, the dealer usually puts on you? Those are illegal. So you should be able to actually sue the dealer for putting that on your plate, really. But you can't have either of those on your car. So if you do have those on your car, just take them off. That's a way to pull you over and check to see what you're doing or what they smell in the car.
Oh, did you already just say?
Is that even true? That's not true. I have one of those on my car. That's just not illegal, you jabroni.
There could be so here in Utah, I cannot have anything to cover my license plate. So I can have it around the edge, but I cannot have it to cover. Yeah. I can hang things from my mirror, but it is true in Minnesota. You cannot hang multiple things from your mirror to cause an object destruction, vision destruction, or whatever you want to call it, objection. But it's no, that's not why he was pulled over. He was pulled over because he didn't pay his registration.
He had expired tags.
even if that law is only a law in one city, the city that he was in, then that's legit. I mean, what the hell? I mean, so why did they make that a law in that place? I bet you if we dove into the record books, somebody hit someone or hit a bicyclist or hit a person or hit a pedestrian because they had a bunch of trees hanging on their mirror, so they made it a law. That's why most things become law. They didn't just like wake up one day and they're like, what can we make illegal? It's like obviously something happened and there was a reaction. That's how most things happen. So even if it was purely and simply that, they glossed over all of the parts of the story that actually matter. And then again, what did they do? They didn't talk about the facts of the story. They went to the mother who A, wasn't there. B, is going to have an emotional reaction. 3, is going to trigger everybody because she's like, oh my God. So it's like, again, it's sensationalist. It makes more money for the Breakfast Club. Everybody gets triggered. It's an emotional pull. It's a money grab. That's all it is.
Facts. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. You might scream.
I might vomit.
What happens when you really truly feel like you don't have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And I don't know why the young man ran, for certain, but I'm almost sure it's because police officers pulled guns on him. And I'm so
lies, bro. You're lying.
Like having face is normal. You have a gun in my face and you're giving me directions, and I'm shook because of all the other times I've seen men and women get gunned down by the police. How do you expect me to react normally in this situation?
You asked him why he ran. Did you see the video of the?
Yeah, he was so scared.
Lieutenant driving his car and they spraying him with pepper spray. And threw him on the floor and all that.
By the way, and we're not going to get off topic, but by the way, that guy is a total fraud, bro. He's not active duty, nor is he a vet. I watched that entire video. Fraud.
I don't know about that video yet, but I've heard a lot of people bringing that up. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it all the way through yet.
You got to check it out. I'll send you the link for it. Let's continue.
Nothing, and they wouldn't even tell him why they pulled him over. Yes.
Well, we can give you that story right
I'm
now. And that is a Black Army Lieutenant, Karen Nazario. This happened in December. A patrol car activated its siren and emergency lights behind Karen Nazario. Now, this is a stretch of road that was very dark. It's in west of Norfolk, Virginia. And he didn't want to stop just anywhere safely. So he went maybe about a mile further, pulled over at a gas station that was well lit. And at that point, 2 officers approached him, guns drawn, yelling at him to get out of the car. He said, what's going on? He was dressed in his uniform, by the way, and kept asking them what's going on. And they said, what's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning.
Lies, bro. I'm going to stop it there. I only wanted to play that so you can hear. This is what the media does, bro. They just completely lied about both situations.
I love how they just casually just go, he drove 1 mile to a gas station. 1 mile, if you're going 30 miles an hour, that's 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds that these cops are ringing you up, and you're just like, dun, dun, dun. That's like basically running. I mean,
yes,
1 mile. I mean, and it probably wasn't a mile, it's probably 1.2 miles or whatever. And he pulled into a gas station. Just pull over, dog. Just pull over, turn your dome line off, and hold the thing. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, a mile. They're like, it's just a mile. It's like, all right, okay. How fast is it going? Because he certainly wasn't going 60. I don't know. And even that would have still taken a minute. And a minute when you're getting rung up by a siren is a long period of time.
Yes, and it's bright. It's not like you can't see the cops pulling you over. It's bright. It's dark.
And they got spotlights.
And you knew this dude is a fraud. I'm not going to waste time on him. We'll do another show about him, but he's a total fraud. And I reacted to the video, and I was like, you know what? When I give more information, I'll come back. So I'll leave that for another show.
All right.
This is Joe Biden. Okay. I'm going to show a video of him talking about Jacob Blake first. Okay. This is him speaking about Jacob Blake. And then I'm going to play the statement that he put out today.
Wait, he still talks about Jacob Blake, or is this an old clip?
This is from August.
He's like, I visited with Jacob Blake's family, and he was just helping 2 girls sort out a domestic issue. They were fighting over basketball, and what I took one. It's like, no, dude. The cops getting murdered, and he's just like, I'm not gonna say anything about that.
I'm not gonna say nothing. No. Here's this video.
The video makes me sick. Once again, a black man, Jacob Blake, has been shot by the police in broad daylight, with the whole world watching. You know, I spoke to Jacob's mom and dad, sister, and other members of the family just a little bit earlier. And I told him justice must and will be done
He's reading.
with his
Yep,
family,
you can see his
especially
eyes.
children.
What a motherfucker.
Watching their father get shot, like Gianna Floyd, they're asking why. Why, Dad? Put yourself in the shoes of every black father and black mother in this country and ask, is this what we want America to be?
Okay, we seen how he reacted to Jacob Blake, right? This is him and Jacob Blake. Now, when I watched this video, I damn near screamed. I wanted to like reach through the screen and slap this dude awake. I don't know. Whoever writes your speeches, bro, like whoever your advisor is, you need to fire them. Okay, I guarantee you, when black people see this, they're gonna be rioting for even longer in the streets. BLM is never gonna shut up. Listen to this dude.
Spoken to the authorities there.
With the diaper.
And I haven't called Daunte Wright's family, but prayers with their family. It's really a tragic thing that happened. But I think we got to wait and see what the investigation shows, and the entire investigation. You all watched, I assume as I did, the film, which is the body cam, which is fairly graphic. Question is, was it an accident? Was it intentional? That remains to be determined by a full-blown investigation. But in the meantime, I want to make it clear again, there is absolutely no justification, none, for looting, no justification for violence. Peaceful protest, understandable. And the fact is that, we do know that the anger, pain, and trauma that exists in the black community in that environment is real. It's serious and it's consequential. But
let's wait for more information because we can't judge right now. It could have been an accident. Oh, by the way, I didn't call his family either. Oh, but wait, let me throw in at the end of the sentence. Black people are going through a really hard time right now. Do we see the comparison? When Jacob Blake, when you wanted to win, bro, you made sure you kissed ass. Now you're in office. No, calm down. Let's get all the facts first. Do you think black people want to hear that? After you have pushed and pushed and pushed systemic racism, pushed and pushed and pushed police brutality. They're not interested in that, bro. I'm telling you, they're creating a situation to where people are going to snap because you're not consistent or real. Imagine if Trump said that.
No, and think about it. Joe Biden didn't even meet with BLM after he was elected for months.
Still hasn't.
But it's a concern. He might call his parents. might call his parents, but still hasn't talked to BLM or anything. But Black Lives Matter will be number one in 2024. I'll tell you right now.
What you got, Bobby?
I think I saw on the news, 3 cops were shot during a police chase in Georgia yesterday.
Wow.
3 cops were shot. So it's like, okay, 3 police officers shot during a high-speed chase at 3:30 in the morning going 111 miles an hour. And it's like, these are public servants. These are people that are doing their job. This dude evaded. There's nothing about the responsibility of the guy. He's like, oh, well, we're going to do a long investigation. I mean, they are, just like you said, it's like they are fueling it because they know that that's the base that they appealed to initially. And then again, it's like, if it's not money, it's power. If it's not power, it's just advancing your ability to succeed in your position. He knows that if he stands on this, he doesn't have any cops. No cops support him. They never did. So he knows that he's not going to get the cops. So he's just like, oh, we're going to do a long investigation into this. It's like the dude's bought and paid for. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, it's almost like watching him speak, especially in that first video. It's like watching a hostage. It's like, read this, Joe.
Well, it's like he's been in politics for 50 years.
Right, exactly.
There's more. I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt to some people. I'm like, okay, maybe you're gonna get on here and say what actually happened. This lady, she's the one who questioned Trump about calling Kung Flu racist. The black chick in the press conference. She went viral for that. Her commentary on this further proves my point that when you keep telling people that they are traumatized and victimized, they start to believe it. And this is why we have situations with officers and black people, like real rap.
I can't wait to hear what Benjamin Crumpets has to say about this tomorrow, because he already got hired. The guy's making millions of dollars off of Black Lives. I can't wait to hear what this psycho grifter says tomorrow. I can't wait for that guy, but let's proceed. I fucking hate that guy.
Has seen this video and that it was troubling, and that he is waiting to see what the investigation yields. He said that he's praying for this family, hasn't reached out to the family yet. But the White House, on a bigger note, also says that they're pushing to get this George Floyd Justice and Policing Act through Congress. So they're saying that
you see what they did. you cannot legislate criminals. You cannot legislate police reform. You just can't. So yes, this happened and he didn't call yet, but I'm going to pander to you some more because we're working hard to get this George Floyd Act passed through. No, you're not, bro. And that's never going to pass. The stuff in that bill is completely unconstitutional. It will never pass. It's pandering 101. And she's actually a communication specialist for the White House. Just saying.
These people are racist.
Yes.
These two things have absolutely no connection whatsoever. And the guy's mom was white. So he's half white. Well, where does it count? Oh, he's half. It's like there's no connection. These people get in scuffles with the law every day. There's millions of interactions with police officers every day in America. These two things have absolutely nothing in common whatsoever, other than resisting arrest, quite frankly. And they're just and in every single article about this today, it's like on the heels of George Floyd. It's like you're a racist. It's like it's just a guy. He just so happens to be another black man. It's like, dude, I don't know.
Well, and they were yelling at the Minneapolis police station tonight just before the curfew. They were yelling George Floyd.
Yeah.
Cool, they had flags up the other night. Do you remember that? We were like, why are you flying George Floyd flag? Like, what does this have to do with that?
It's because that's what they want us to see, and they are bringing it up. It's just like, I don't know. I honestly feel like, there's a lot of things that are not coincidence, right? And not that everything is like a psyop, such and such and such and such. But imagine how simple it would be for any news, whatever, to have some Sharpies and some poster board and just be like, George Floyd, hand them out, or tell people, or whatever. I mean, like when you really literally think about it, all it takes is one sign. It's like when I was in DC on the 6th, I saw this poorly hobbled together, like 2x4s that resembled the gallows, and it was in every picture across the entire planet. And it's just like, all it takes is for one guy to go to Home Depot, set this thing up, and put it in the right spot, and now there's a gallows there. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, let's get some George Floyd signs in here. I mean, what does that cost? 10 cents? They could so easily have that. And I've known people that work in newsrooms, super left all the time, always about getting more attention. They're not against artificially creating a shot that makes it look like something's happened. And those news anchors, they literally sit in those vans and wait for hours to get a 30-second spot. They literally do, and then they do the same spot later. To think that they wouldn't just write a couple signs that say George Floyd, justice for George Floyd, and pass them out or have people do it, I think is insane. Like I could totally see them doing that.
Yeah. Well, and you're not wrong. So the last time and soon we'll move on in just a sec, but the last protest in Portland, before the Antifa and Donald Trump rally collided, you had signs that were made on the backs of Domino's pizza boxes, and you saw the pizza stains and everything, and you're like, so you just got a marker and your dinner plate from last night, and you just drove You wrote Black Lives Matter, and I'm gonna go march tomorrow. Cool.
Justice for George Floyd.
Yeah.
Guys, before we get too further into this show, do me a favor and share. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the notification bell on YouTube if you haven't already subscribed, and share this on Facebook. I'm getting shadow banned. Me and Bobby were talking about this earlier, man. We're both getting clapped, okay? So please help me out.
Full on clapping.
They're very, very focused on policing, very, very focused on trying to solve this issue. But I have to tell you, Nicole, in watching this video of Daunte Wright, a 20-year-old being shot by this police officer, it is the nightmare that America, and especially African Americans in this country, are living and experiencing over and over and over again. This shooting reminds me so much of the shooting of Oscar Grant that was on New Year's Day in 2009, where a police officer shot that young man in California.
I can't resist. I'm sorry.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Bro, why did they get away with this? Oscar Grant was murdered. Okay, that was no accident. The cop put the gun to his back and shot it. That was bad. A bad police officer. This lady, now I was just informed she's 25 years on that job. She is scared as crap because of the atmosphere and the tone that's being set in this country, that white officers are racist towards black people. They don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to conduct themselves. And this fool, okay, resisted. Now, I'm not going to play this video any further because we know where she's going. I'm trying to paint a picture. The media is the virus. They are the reason that we are fighting the way that we are. Yesterday, when we did Primetime Patriots, somebody shakes up the ant box. All the ants start attacking each other. That's what's happening. We're not attacking the people that are shaking the box.
Not a single person. And I didn't watch all the news coverage, but I would wager that if we sifted through every single article and every single news coverage and every single piece of commentary, I bet you not one single person said, this guy shouldn't have tried to run away.
No, they didn't. They just
I mean, what are we talking about? This is the dumbest shit. Like, the guy would not have been, I don't know what he got arrested for, but he wouldn't have had a life in prison, and he certainly wouldn't have died. It's like,
I do. I'm prepared. This is what he has: two weed charges for marijuana, and then he also has a misdemeanor for possessing a pistol without a permit in a public place. Okay,
nice.
I also look. Let's look. Come on.
Yeah.
He was running away because he skipped court for this. These 3 charges that he got, he skipped court.
We don't know if he had a gun in the car yet, do we?
We don't.
And what will happen if it comes out that he did? I mean, that's the thing. Did you guys see that video of the woman? I think it was in like Tennessee, where there was this one cop. Nice, exactly. If there was like this one cop, and then this kind of heavy set whiter cop, and it was a black woman, and he's like, you're going to be under arrest, and she's like, no, don't do it. They chase around the car. She gets in and grabs the gun and just shoots him in the stomach. And like I was talking with somebody about this. It's like, you're talking about a split-second decision. You're talking about 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm not saying that she should have shot him. Obviously, she was going for a taser. I mean, I think any rational human being can see that it was not intentional. It doesn't justify it, and she'll be dealt with, obviously. But it's just like that they could have both died if she didn't do something. And I mean, and it would have been a 1 second thing. That one where that woman came out and shot that dude. First of all, it didn't look like that woman was going to shoot that guy. Second of all, it looked fairly peaceful. I wouldn't have expected that she would just blast this guy. And sure enough, he did. If that guy didn't have a vest on, that dude would have died right there on the spot. And it's like, that's what you're dealing with. It's just like, and I'm not saying that either people deserve to lose their life, but it's just like, you have a person that is like resisting arrest, running away, a danger to other people, skips court. Who cares if he's 20 or 200? It doesn't matter. It's just like, if they don't act quickly, these two people could have died straight up, and then he could have driven away and then hurt more people. I mean, it's like, because now you're going to prison for life. Now what's this person capable of? I mean, it's like, it's people don't understand. And then like Joe Biden again, pouring gas. kids seeing their dad get shot by police.
Mhm.
Why is this guy running away from the police with his kids in the car? No, it's like, think about the complete other side. It's so backwards. Just nobody cares. Not a single person will be like, this guy probably shouldn't have resisted arrest. And again, it's like, that woman knows that clip will go viral. She knows that that'll keep them in power. Every single person, every single thing can be answered in that simple thing. Who's set to benefit as a result of this behavior? If they can get more airtime, make more money, get more power, remain in power, push more of their agenda, or whatever, they win. It answers every single question of why, no matter what, all the way through, no matter what, all the time. That's what it is.
Look, I covered looting last night, and it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. These people are looting. They're gonna loot. This is what they do when a black person is killed. This is how they mourn. They steal shit.
It's happening again tonight. Is that happening again?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it up in a minute.
right now.
Yeah, I'll put it up in a second. I wanted to show the video of him. He resisted. Okay. He resisted.
The insurance companies, and everyone's like, who cares? They have insurance, like complete and total shills, like Trevor Noah say stuff like this. It's like, the insurance company, they have insurance. You know how hard it's going to be to do business in that town, how hard it's going to be to do business in the state of Minnesota, how difficult it's going to be for black and white and minority and every single person to open and maintain a business in that area. And then every single person that's on the lower side of the economic scale now probably can't even open a business. It's going to be cost prohibitive to them to open a business. And where does the power go? Right up to the top. Target Walmart. I mean, it all feeds the same thing. It's like they understand that this is a pure money grab all the way through. People are shooting themselves in the foot and they don't even understand it. And all of these psychos are just like, push it. Like nobody even cares. It's just this big machine just cranking money away from the bottom and up to the top. It's a huge wealth transfer. And these people are so unaware and emotionally traumatized because they don't know how to have understanding or have depth of understanding that they're just getting manipulated and they don't even know. They think they're getting a free pair of Nikes when they're really going to pay twice that and all the things that they don't get as a result. It's tragic.
Facts, man. Let me see. I'm not going to play where he gets shot, but I do want people to see he resisted and he got back in the car, which deemed him an immediate threat. Now, like he said earlier, the cop, that was a terrible mistake, bro. And your mistakes have consequences. So I hope she gets charged. 100%.
I've never seen this video.
This is Daunte Wright.
Oh, this is the whole video.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I only saw it starting right here. God. 1, 2.
He's a threat.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm not going to show him get shot. Okay, but he resisted and he got back in his car and they don't know what's in there. He counted for a reason because that's how long it takes for something to happen. He could have hopped in there, grabbed a gun. He got a girlfriend in there with him. Who knows what she has? Is there something underneath the seat?
Yep.
His charge, I already showed you his charge. This is what he was getting. This is why he had court cases to begin with.
Yep.
A pistol without a permit.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he deserved to die. But put all the pieces of the puzzle together before you go reacting.
Well, consider the other thing. Consider what would have happened in the event that they just let him get away, for example. Now you got a high-speed chase. Now you have other innocent lives. You got cars because they can't. What are they gonna do? They can't just let him. They can't just let him ride. They got to chase him. So now you got multiple cars. You got 3 cars chasing him, high speed chase. You know the guy's got a gun. So he could hurt himself. He could hurt the woman. He could crash into other cars. He could hit children. I mean, any variety of things could have happened that would have been so horrifying as a result of him getting away. And I think that that's the exact same thing that happened to Jacob Blake. It's like you have to make a split-second decision that, like, there's 3 kids in this car. Not to mention the fact that this person clearly has no regard for police. It's like, who could they go hurt? What if they go and kill 10 people? It's just like, and the other thing that's sad about it too, and is like, there are more than enough videos of people tasing people and it not having any effect. Jacob Blake got tased multiple times. He knocked off 2 police officers. So it's like, not to mention, a 20-year-old man is at almost peak strength, peak performance, and it's like these are older people. The average police officer is something like 40 some odd years old. It's like the average police officer that died last year was like 47. It's like this guy's a 20-year-old spring chicken. They don't know if he's on drugs. I mean, any variety of things. It's just horrifying. This is all right now.
This is all right now.
God damn it.
This is all right now. They're looting up here.
That's so badass. What is it? How are you looking at that? That's cool as hell. Woke.net.
Yeah. Woke.net. They stream everything happening. I just followed them yesterday. This is America.
You want to know how stupid these people are? They looted the same AT&T store.
Oh yeah, they kept going back last night. They
that
were
store's
all,
not
after the
stopped
police
yet,
would
people.
leave, after the police would leave, you would see people pulling back into the parking lot, and then it's like playing cops and robbers when you're little. Just police chasing you all over the city. Just riots, looting, everything breaking out, and it's gonna continue tonight.
These people are opportunists. These are young opportunist people. These are not protests. Look at these people wilding out.
Look at her, bro. Let me turn the audio on for a second.
I love it.
Great Wash Pizza. They're looting over here now.
These poor police officers and their families.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
It's crazy what they're doing.
Horrifying. We're going to make it so that people just are not going to want to be cops. I mean, this is not a high paying job. This is extremely high risk.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else? The amount of money that this is costing the taxpayers of those municipalities is off the fucking chart.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Off the fucking chart. The problem is all these people are young and impressionable and manipulatable. This is so insane. What a tragedy. And again, it fits the narrative too. It's just like, all right, how do we get out of this? More police, more rules, more lockdowns, more military grade weapons in the hands of local police. It's like everybody loves this. More power, authoritarian power, socialism, more control. It's like these people that are doing this, they want them to do it. It incentivizes it. It means that every single city has to be militarized to prevent this. And meanwhile, all these kids are so young and they don't even understand that they're pawns. They're pawns in this in a much greater game. This is
of course, Roland Martin, race hustler, is right there at the bottom. He's there in the midst of all the drama. Roland Martin is right there. And you know what he's gonna do and get on his show tomorrow? These black people are hurting.
Yep.
They're mourning.
Yep.
Oh, they're mourning what? They don't even know.
They don't.
George Floyd.
Yep.
You get a murder every day in your own hoods, bro. Trust me.
Yep.
I've spent time there. There's a murder almost every day, depending on where you live.
Yep.
These people are predisposed to traumatic incidents every single day. It's normal for them. So you're telling me that 13 people killed last year is more traumatic than your best friend, your brother, your uncle, your dad being killed in front of you where you live at? For real.
Mm-hmm. No, I would wager that a large percentage of these people, A, probably didn't even see the video.
Yeah.
B, probably don't care, even if they did see it. And C, I bet you they traveled to get there.
Yeah.
If I lived 20 miles away and I was a criminal, I would be like, yo, let's roll up there. Let's just grab a bunch of bags. We're hurting. No one's going to get arrested. There's too many people. Stay where the biggest grouping of people are and just go in the stores that are already broken. It's simple. We'll make a rack a night and then we'll take some hilarious photos of it.
Yep.
If you watch the videos from last night, you see more traffic in that parking lot of the Brooklyn Center shopping center. You see more cars in there, probably that has ever been there. and they're just being chased by cops going around the shopping center.
It's like a third world country. I really feel like that. Just looking at home, because I'm not in the States. Everybody knows that. But on the outside looking in, people mourn. They're mourning the death of America. I don't think a lot of people understand. A lot of people are hurt. Australia is scared out of their mind about what's going to happen because China already bullies them. And America's the last standing frontier. And you have this basic stuff going on in America, bro.
Mm-hmm. No, it's crazy. It's crazy because it's like, and I know everybody repeats this kind of same thing, but it's like every conspiracy theory you ever heard coming true in real time. It's like, and this is just one of the hot things of the moment. It's like in the UK, it's illegal to sleep at a person's house in a house that you don't live with. It's like in New Zealand, there's one shooting and they take every gun in the entire country. In Australia, the borders are closed. In a variety of different countries around the world, the borders are closed. In that island in the Caribbean, the volcano erupts and the cruise ships will only take people that got the juice.
Vaccinated.
Every single thing is fucking garbage. And this is just like, it's like it's the most epic power, money grab, authoritarian rule grab, socialist grab in the history of time. And like the vast majority of people are like asleep at the wheel. And they'll like watch the news for 10 minutes a day and they'll be like, dude, racism's a problem in this country. And they'll say the top line items. And then if you're like, wait, but what about this? They're like, I don't really want to talk about it. Let's not have this conversation. It's like, no, you just had the conversation. That's because you don't know. You're not paying attention. And you don't understand the deep ramifications long term of the precedent that this sets. This is the destruction of freedom and liberty and individual rights. They're just going to use this to take everything away. And it's like, where are you going to go, dog? Are you going to go to Mars? What else is there?
Don't get me started on Mars.
Let's go to Mars. We're going to Mars. All three of us. Let's go.
This is live. The other feed is on the video I did yesterday, but this is tonight. Everything you're saying here is live from tonight in different parts of Minnesota. I mean, Minneapolis. I'm sorry.
So
what is it? Brooklyn Center.
Do you guys think, I'm curious what your guys' perspective is here. Clearly, they're much more prepared tonight than they were last night. Clearly, you see a lot more people ready, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to incite this and make this go longer? Or do you think it would be shorter if they didn't have as many people?
I don't think it matters.
You think because there's more police?
Yes.
No, I think there has to be more police. I would say that there needs to be the most amount of police possible. But see, it's unfortunate, but I just don't know what else there is. I mean, it's about consequence and prevent. I mean, I don't know what else there is other than letting them ride. I mean, in Chicago, they did that. They put the bridges up and they just let them loot and they destroyed everything.
Yeah.
I think if there's no cops, like I was out skateboarding with my friend one of the nights that there was like some unrest downtown. I think it was right after George Floyd here in South Florida. And I live in like a fairly not, it's like a vacation city. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it's like, there's 180,000 people here. It's not Miami. It's not a big city like that. It's like fairly affluent. And the downtown area is like, it's very nice. Not that Chicago isn't, but it's not a city like that. And all of the people got kind of pushed into this one area and the cops were like on it. They shut it down super quick. And they were just like, nope, we're not going to be on the fucking news. This is not about to happen here. And I give them a lot of credit for that. Cause as a person that's a taxpayer here, I'm like, hell yeah, get them the hell out of here. Like, it's like, I don't know what else. So to me, I don't know that there is any other option other than this strong show of force. I don't know that there is an option other than that.
No, and I was curious because I see this as the force they're showing tonight is very strong compared to last night. They're very, look at all their very visible vests. They're showing a solid force tonight. Mm-hmm. And we shut down the big riot we had here in Salt Lake City by 5 minutes. As soon as you looted a store, as soon as you broke a window, National Guard's called.
Yep.
Done.
Yeah.
We let you flip a cop car and burn it. Cool. Get it out of your system. That's fine. We'll deal with you later. But as soon as you broke a window into a store, National Guard's called. They were already on guard and they were down there. Things got shut down. But I don't know how it works in the bigger cities because Utah is not huge. But I was thinking that this show of force is probably the best way to do it. But we look at Seattle, Portland, where they don't show up at all, pretty much, and they just do what they want. However, does it continue on for weeks on weeks? It kind of slows down. And so that's what I was curious on your perspective on if you guys thought that it would just zip it up real quick or not.
I think that there's no option. I think that what they did in Portland by letting those guys run that city block is insane. If I was a tax-paying business owner on that square and I knew that I've been paying taxes, following the rules, living my life, and I have to see these people, like people running, vagrants basically running the city, burning things, looting things, destroying things. As I'm a taxpayer, I mean, I would be pretty pissed about that. And I think that it's like we have the most powerful military in the world. I'm not a huge fan of militarization, but I think that it's like cops, generally speaking, don't just jump on you. It's not like somebody is just standing in the street and they just swarm you and tackle you. Quite frankly, I think there should be helicopters, spotlights, the National Guard, the whole motherfucking thing, because you're there to protect all of those businesses. Like those businesses spend a lot of money and their livelihoods are being destroyed. And it's like, how unfair is that to them? And it's just like, don't go there. And like, these are not protests. Protests don't happen at night. These are not protests. If you want to protest at the town hall during the day. And I just think that to even call these protests is preposterous.
It's crazy. I found somebody just sent me this video from CNN where quote unquote protester went off on a CNN news anchor. So we got to see what this is about. This is pretty interesting.
Protester.
It is. That is all tear gas, and it is extremely strong. If you look just now, I'm going to try to sort of stand in the street a little bit. You look there. Now you can see. Now you can see.
Y'all be twisting up the story.
You want to talk to me? You want to talk to me? Okay, cool. No, don't take my mic, but we're cool. Okay. What's your name?
What's my name? My name is my name.
All right, so tell me what you think about what's going on here.
What I think about this is all the press and all the extra shit y'all do makes this worse.
Thank you. You think so?
Yes. When people want to protest, they shouldn't do it in front of a fucking police courthouse. Shit like that. You get what the fuck I'm saying?
I want you to be careful. I really
Of what?
do. Of anything that can hit you. Of anything that can hit you. Look at all the stuff. Of this.
Of what?
Of this.
Do it look like I'm scared?
No, you don't.
Do it look like I'm scared?
You don't.
Exactly. Y'all need to get up out of here with all that twisting up the media ass shit.
Okay.
Real shit.
You don't know me, but we're going to get to know each other. That's what we're going to know each other. Yes, we are. We are.
How you going to know me?
We're going to talk. I'm going to share a number with you. All right, let's do it.
No, let's do it right here.
Let's do it. All right, here's my phone. Let's go ahead and share me a number.
Talk about something that's real.
Tell me what's real.
Y'all just gonna edit out the shit.
We're live.
We are live. Edit out some other shit.
We're live.
We're not fucking live.
He's like,
I'm live right now.
I don't care if you live or not.
Okay,
get away from here with all that media shit that y'all doing
right now.
Look,
we're with CNN.
Then take that camera all the way the fuck up there.
We are going up there.
Take it all the way the fuck up there. Y'all doing all the extra shit for the backhand shit to make people look all crazier than what the fuck they are.
All right, then you watch us because that's where we're going. All right, so everybody see easy it is. That is all tear gas.
Oh my god, that was epic.
Extremely strong.
But here's the thing. I love that. But that guy's still there.
Yeah.
What are you doing there, dog? Like there's a fire, there's mortars going off. He's like, you guys are twisting this shit up. It's like, why are you here, bro? Like, what are you doing here? Go home. I don't know. That was really funny.
Be thankful he's there, though, right? He's actually calling something out that should be called out, right? And honestly, that guy needs to be on the show.
Yeah, right.
Somehow, we got to figure out who that guy is without a mask because it's impossible. But people being there and calling stuff out like that is the way it should be. We should be defending our America. We should be defending our stores. We should be trying to educate people, not just media. Media is like impossible, especially CNN. But we could at least be in the crowds and be like, are you making the right decision? Look, man, like we don't need to be doing this. And he could be from earlier in the day when he was actually peacefully protesting and not rioting and looting late at night, right? And so that's how I see it.
I don't disagree with that. However, think about it from the perspective of a police officer. A person is a person, right? If there's more people here, you're making the situation more difficult. If that guy just removes himself from the situation, now he doesn't need to be watched, because they don't know what any of those guys have. They don't know what they have in their pocket. They don't know what they have under their jacket. Like when I was in DC on the 6th, and I went and I like walked down Constitution Ave, as Donnie told us. I'm walking up to the Capitol. I'm like, this is wild. And people were just standing there in the grass. I'm like, oh, this is cool. People are standing. It was like fairly quiet. Up on top, things were starting to heat up. And I'm like, I shouldn't be here. Like this. I don't want to be associated with that. Me being here is the problem. I'm not doing anything. I'm not causing any good. I'm going to get out of here. Like the last thing that I need to do is complicate the situation. So it's like the good people need to remove themselves from those situations. Whether he's there from earlier, it's like I still think that he's making it more difficult, because not only does it distract the police that don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but it's just more bodies there.
Facts.
Fair.
Did you guys see them looting? I think it was Home Depot.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw the auto parts store, and this girl walks in with what the hell is that? Like a shower cap? What is that called?
A bonnet?
Yeah, like a pink bonnet. And she was like, "Oh shit, I need this," and she was like, "Grab it." I'm like, "What do you need there? Like, what do you need?" And like,
maybe we're talking about the same thing. I'm talking about this video.
What this shit look like? I think he needs a new partner for his shit. Yeah, these bitches saying, "Dad, these bitches get sold for 30.
God, I need this. What do you need? What do you need in there?
I have an idea now.
What?
I can open my own auto parts company. I just have to take advantage of these opportunities, and I can acquire whatever parts I need and just build a car, sell it.
She did seem like she was trying to build a car, repair her daily driver.
I think she was.
I love all the
she
guys
was probably looking for
target.
blinker fluid, though. Let's be honest. She was looking for blinker fluid, if anything.
Nah, she was in there for that Gorilla Glue. You know, she got to put that in her weave.
I've been in an auto parts store as a human adult male, and I can't even find what I want in the store. You're gonna run in there after it's been ransacked and then know that you need it and also where it is. I gotta like ask the guy. He's like, "Oh, it's over in section 6." I'm over there. I'm just like, "Where?" So to think that she just can book in there and know exactly where what she needs is, it's like, I don't know about that. I'm gonna say fact check false on that one.
Man, I just wanted to get on here and prove my point. I said, when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to see the media paint a completely different story. And look what they did. They just painted a completely different story. And everybody needs to wake up to this, bro. They're look at this, man. Now, how many crimes are probably actually going on right now? And these police officers are spread so thin that they can't get to actual crimes.
Yep, exactly. If you wanted to do something else, now's the time to do it. Home invasion.
Yeah.
rape, whatever, armed robbery. I mean, any variety of things. And even if you did it just outside where this is, if you were 5 blocks left, 5 blocks west, a couple blocks west, how quick is the police response going to be to an armed robbery or a knifed robbery or any variety of or anything? I mean, and then all these clowns again. It's like, look at these news reporters. They're loving it. They can't wait to raise their stock. And this is why I say, if you just look at these images here, this is why I say that if you're not a bad guy, you should not be there. Unless you're a journalist, a legitimate journalist, you shouldn't be there, because these cops don't know who. I can't imagine how afraid those cops are. And even though they look pretty badass and they got all the protection, those guys could die in a minute, and they don't know anything they don't know what these guys have.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's extremely sad. And not to mention, this is on the heels of murders being at the highest rate in major cities around America ever. I mean, it's insane. The amount of crimes that are happening in any variety of ways. And then you think about the defunding the police in concert with all this, and then removing certain units, like for example in the LAPD, like take away the sex crimes unit, take away the such and such unit. It's like this is the most epic recipe for disaster. And like seeing these people just standing around, it's like you're just like you're waiting to be a suspect. There's no reason for you to be there. You need to get yourself out of that situation. So as far as I'm concerned, like every single person that's there that's not a legit journalist is a potential suspect, and they're just making it worse. And it's just so stupid.
It's sad, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
All these police officers, man.
Yeah, and
people are just there for clout.
Imagine that being your dad or your mom or your wife or your husband or anything, and knowing that they got to go into that shit. Imagine the human suffering happening on the other end. The wife out, thinking, like, wondering if your fucking husband is about to get popped in the back of the head with a baseball bat or have a mortar thrown at him or something. And like, how much money are they making? It's like any wife would be like, you need to quit this job. And it's like, that's what that person wanted to do. They wanted to serve the public. It's like, I'm painting a picture, but it's just like, I would guarantee that there's tons of people that feel that way. And it's just like, this is the type of thing that's going to get more good people out of the police force, more people with experience, more people that are doing it for the right thing. And they're going to have to hire young, inexperienced people at a much faster clip. And more of this stuff's going to happen. You're going to have more people grabbing for a gun and it being a taser. They're creating more problems for themselves. And I can't help but think that it's part of a far greater agenda.
Yeah. Here's a question I have. Would it be too dramatic and too far-fetched for Americans to stand up and help police officers in this instance? Like the need for a community, like if somebody in your neighborhood is getting robbed, you can't call the police, and there's a person there who's armed that can help you. Is this the time for Americans to stand up and actually practice their Second Amendment right?
They prove to you that if you try that, you'll be destroyed. Kyle Rittenhouse, that's why they want you knowing about that guy. They smeared him. He was too young. That guy, I mean, when you really think about it, it was a heroic act. I don't know every single thing that I did, but in a lot of ways it was heroic. In a lot of ways, an armed militia would prevent things like this and would be able to be there to support it. But you got one guy that stepped up to do something, and the person that he shot was like holding a gun trying to kill him, and a convicted pedophile, I think it was. And it's like, and they destroyed that dude. And they are still smearing him to this day on every one of these news outlets, the exact same news outlets that are pushing all this. So it's just like, they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to protect your neighborhood. And then on top of all that, it's like most of these crimes are committed with illegal guns. So what you're doing, putting all these rights on the gun, you're disarming legal gun owners. You're disarming the people that are there to defend. You're putting further stress on the police force. Again, it's like, it seems to be like it's all just in concert, which just like destroy America, like literally.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I disagree a little bit. I I love what Kyle Rittenhouse did. I do.
As do I.
And if you had more of him uniting together, would people be as brave? I doubt it. He was alone, chased a block or a couple blocks down the street, and chased after, right? And so, of course, he had to return fire and protect himself. And honestly, that kid had the best trigger finger on the planet. He was solid. But if you actually united people, and I think that's the bigger question, if we unite people and we bring people together, could we stop this? I do believe that.
Okay. He says, so what are the facts? Facts are that Mr. Wright resisted arrest. Police officer scared to do her job. She panicked. Okay, she was in full-blown panic mode, and she grabbed a gun, which she thought was a taser, and shot the man in the chest. Your mistakes have consequences. No matter if you accidentally did it or not, you are definitely held to a certain standard as a cop. And this goes into training as far as I'm concerned. You've been on the job 25 years and you don't know which side your taser's on? 25 years you've been doing this and you still don't have the temperament to deal with the situation when it gets out of control? I'm just saying, like, when a cop is wrong, we have to call the cop out. And then in this instance, she didn't conduct herself as a cop, just like the cops with the quote unquote lieutenant. They didn't handle that entire situation the right way. I don't know what type of training they got, but it was terrible. I don't know what type of training she's receiving. It's terrible. And then you add in the atmosphere of what's happening in this country. It's a recipe for disaster. So I really hope she gets charged. Like, I do. You need to learn a lesson. You shouldn't get off scot-free with this one because somebody lost their life due to your incompetence on which side the taser's on.
Oh yeah, Crumpets is going to sue the hell out of them, and they're going to make $20 million. They're going to make $20 million. No question.
No, I'm gonna say this will be more than George Floyd's.
It might be.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, because it was clear. It was like clearly. Yeah, it will. And Crumpets takes 40% of that.
Well, think about it. Think about the NFL quarterback. Every year, the all-star quarterback gets more money, right? And that's all this is keeping. This is all that's keep doing. Oh, Breonna Taylor got this much. George Floyd's family got this much.
Yep.
Okay, so now this is one shooting. Yeah, there needs to be some compensation, and I am 100% like, yeah, it's human error. Something needs to happen. Cool. But it's going to be up into 30, 40 million for sure.
The thing about the woman is, like, I believe that I was on a podcast earlier today and they were talking about how this happens about 10 times a year or something like that somebody goes to grab a taser and mistakes it for a gun. And this actually is not extremely rare that this happens fairly often. And I believe that they do have some type of coverage that protects them in this event.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think lose her job. I don't know. Like, do you think that this woman should go to prison for that?
I do, man. Even if it was me, okay, and I accidentally killed somebody and I had no intentions of killing them that day and I thought it was a taser, I'm getting charged. I'm doing some sort of time unless I have a bomb lawyer that can argue my case and get me off with something because I've never been charged with something. But the prosecutor's coming after me. I don't think she should get a pass just because she's a cop. I me personally, I think she needs to go to jail. She needs to learn a lesson. She needs to, on top of already killing somebody, okay? You need to, because if they don't, and I'm not saying they need to do this for the public to chill out, but you've already got the public riled up, and you let this officer go when she's clearly wrong. You think you got riots now? I think we'll see Rodney King 3.0 because this will be they are going to feel like the emotional, irrational people. You don't care because this person is black. That's the stereotype. That's the narrative that's being drummed up. Of course, we know that's not true, but it's gonna get out of hand. Thank you. And given her experience and time on the job, she should have known better. So I think they're gonna throw the book at her.
My bigger thing is what do you charge with here? I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about where this falls because it is a human error. And I don't know how that falls within police books. Should she be held accountable? Absolutely. Does that equal prison or jail time? It depends on what she gets charged with because it has to fit the bill. Look at the George Floyd case. They tried to explain and say Derek Chauvin should be charged for first-degree murder. It didn't fit. So we have to find what fits to charge her and then follow what that fits, what that is. And prison, I'm fine with that. Jail, I'm fine with it. I'm not saying no, but I just don't know what you can actually charge her with right now. I don't know, but could be manslaughter, could be third-degree murder potentially, because you can justify holding a gun versus a taser. There is a significant weight difference. It feels different. What do you do? But I don't know. I don't know what we charge with, but I want her charged with what will fit her mistake. That's it.
People are asking what happened. He resisted arrest and he got back in his car, and a cop mistook her weapon for a taser, and she accidentally shot him. At the end of the day, she took a life. Playing like semantics, she took a life. Period. Point blank.
I would say it's. I mean, I'm no legal chooch, but I'm looking it up on fine law. So Minnesota involuntary manslaughter law says, which I would say that it's involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
Basically criminally, like basically negligent.
Yeah.
Seems like it's basically second degree manslaughter, which says punished by no more than 10 years in prison and not more than a $20,000 fine. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. I feel weird about it. Like, I do think that obviously she should have some more, there should be something, but just, it seems crazy to me to think that this woman is going to go to prison for for more than, for 10 years.
Yeah.
It just seems like, I don't know. Being the moral of the story is being a cop sucks ass. And no matter how much you're trained, it's like, I just think that there's got to be something taken into consideration for the fact that this guy had gun charge. It's like, I don't know. It just seems being a cop sucks ass. I have so much respect for police officers. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine going to work knowing that a split-second decision could put me in the clink. And I'm sure being a cop in prison is not a walk in the park. It's just this is just one of many things that are going to make police officers not want to be police officers.
It's unfortunate, and it sucks for anybody to be in this situation, because I can't let her go, but she also shouldn't be in jail for an extreme amount of years. If I just give probation and a fine, what message does that send? What are we saying to other cops? Like that was a large mistake, a huge mistake that cost somebody their life. So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens, but I'm not going to give excuses for poor cop etiquette.
Here's another question. See, I don't know what police procedure is, but I saw a police I saw a police shootout recently where a guy was trying to evade arrest, and the cops the guy in the car drove at the cops, and they fired and shot him as he was driving straight at them, and killed the guy, and shot and killed him. So what is the protocol? Let's say that she tased him. Let's say that she tased him outside the car and he fought it off and got in the car, and the taser was ineffective. Could she shoot him then? That's what I'm wondering, is like, what is the actual protocol for a person that has warrants for their arrest, gun charge, just evaded arrest, just got tased? It's like, at what point can he be shot? Or do you just, like I said, do you just let him get in the car and drive away and then put other people's lives at risk and start a high-speed chase? That's what I'm wondering, is like, what would have been the proper protocol in the event that the taser didn't work? Because if the next thing was, like, let's say that she tased him outside the car and it didn't work, didn't take, and then he gets in the car, could she have shot him? Could she have shot him then? And would it have been justified then? Because I think that is a very important, a very important difference. So you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It's like, I don't know enough about the legal system, but
yeah.
My biggest thing that I back in that situation, just real quick, is if they feel their life is in danger, it's okay to withdraw your weapon. You're able, just like my concealed weapons permit, I'm able to pull it out if I feel like my life is in danger. I can't pull it out because some guy got mad at me because I cut him off or whatever happened on the road, right? But as a police officer, if you feel your life is in danger, you can withdraw your weapon for sure. And getting back in the car, he could potentially, going back to the Nashville shooting, she went back into that car, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, she did.
The third time, she ended up grabbing a gun and shooting him under his vest.
Facts.
And so your life is in danger for them to go back in the car. And so I understand that. The part that I do not support in this situation with this lady is she said taser, taser, taser. And it was a gun.
Yeah.
So what if she didn't say that? What if she didn't say taser and she just pulled her gun and shot him? That's what I'm wondering, is like, would that have been, you know what I mean?
Good question.
It gets questionable then.
Because like the guy evaded arrest, weapons charges, another person in the car.
Yeah.
Reasonable to think that your life is in danger in theory. And especially after, again, we just saw that Tennessee shooting where she's just like, boom, pop. So it's like,
right.
I mean, if that guy got hit in the neck, he would have died. If he got hit, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I wonder, is like, what is the protocol? Because because to me, it seemed like it would be reasonable to believe that her life was in danger. And what I'm wondering is the simple fact that she said taser, does that somehow change it? And again, like, I don't think that the guy deserved to die. However, if those cops died, nobody would have like, then what would have, like, is that somehow better? And frankly, we're going to find out whether or not there was a gun in the car. So here's my next question. If there was a gun in the car, do you guys feel the same about her going to prison? Because I don't. I personally, as much as I think that it's fucked up, I don't think that she should go to prison. If the protocols justify, and again, I don't know the law enough, but if the protocols justify her doing that, and that she just happened to say taser, and they find a gun in the car, like, does that change your guys' feeling about her going to prison? If there's a gun in the car.
No, it would be the same, because you still said taser and went for a gun. Like, I don't think it would change for me.
So the statement of her saying taser. So what if she said nothing? If she didn't say anything and she just shot him, then it would have been okay? With a gun in the car? No? So the guy has a gun in the car, resists arrest. She doesn't say anything, or she says, I'll shoot you, whatever. He has a gun in the car. You still want her to go to prison.
I think that muddies the waters. because first she would have to know that there's a weapon there. Now, him getting into his car does give her the right to deem him as a threat because she doesn't know what's in there. So I see what you're saying. Well, she didn't say taser, and he's in the car, so would she be justified in shooting? But the fact that she said taser 3 times and went for her gun, does that change it? I think this is it's like kind of catch-22. I definitely think she was wrong. I think she was hyped up and emotional, and not giving her excuses, but given the situation in a stressful environment, I get it.
Yeah.
And he resisted and ran off. I don't agree with what he did, but like I said, given the temperature of this nation, I can see why a young man with no father, highly impressionable because he was in gangs, he did have an illegal gun. He's not like he's innocent walking around not doing nothing. They had a reason to be arresting him. These two things collide together, and it's an unfortunate situation. It's so unfortunate because it could have all been avoided if he had just not resisted and she had been really paying attention to what she was grabbing. So it's unfair, but I still think she needs to be charged. Like, it's unfair. It's unfair. He's dead. His mom can't get him back. You know, he left behind a 2-year-old son. They don't get him back. So I don't feel sorry for anybody in this situation, because it's at the bigger picture is somebody died, an American died, and a kid doesn't have their father, just like he obviously didn't have his father in his life. Me personally, I just look at things on a broad view, and I try to remove my feelings and say, what's right here? How do we get here? Number one, and we figure out how we got here. How do we charge accordingly? So I don't know. And I see people disagreeing. Listen, the link is pinned. If you want to come on here and say what you disagree with, that's fine. I don't think that this just happens to Black people. We're talking about this situation, and it just so happens to be a Black young man that this happened to. Yesterday, I did a whole show talking about how it doesn't only happen to Black folks. This happens to, white people far more often than it happens to Black people. So that's kind of like a duh moment. We know that. But this situation is about Daunte Wright. It's unfortunate, man. Either way you look at it, somebody loses. He lost his life. And she's a 26-year veteran on the job. She should have known better. I'm sorry.
There's definitely a case to say cops arrest people all the time. These are types of things that happen. You should have been prepared for that. And I think it comes back to like police protocol, like what would have been the proper protocol. And I certainly do think that she messed up. Lose her job, probation, a fine, maybe I don't know, but yeah, no, the whole thing is shit. I think the one thing that we also need to just remember is like I agree with that. That's true. It's like what we're doing, unfortunately, is kind of what they do, which is chop it all up without knowing for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't know the conversation that they had in the car, whether or not he answered that he had a weapon in the car. We don't know if he had a weapon in the car. I mean, there's any variety of things that are still undetermined. I don't know. Yeah. The whole thing sucks. It is unfortunate. The guy shouldn't have died, but at the same time, like, I can't help say that. I mean, I think that this dude is in the wrong, no matter how you slice it. Even though the cop may be at fault, all of this could have been avoided, and this dude would be alive if it weren't for his own actions. And I think that is the underlying point that I think means the most, is like, none of this would have happened if this dude just didn't fucking do that. And none of this conversation would have happened. It's like, and at the end of the day, the personal responsibility, in my opinion, should be focused on him and his behavior. The cop and all of that will be sorted out. And obviously it's going to be hot just because it is, but it's this guy's fault that any of this happened to begin with.
Agreed. And damn it, the guy's not even on the screen anymore. I was going to say, anybody want to see the irony on the screen? I got two things. Like, the guy on the screen, he's saying he has "I can't breathe" diaper on his face. Well, then take it off. But I 100% agree with you. The thing that I'm looking at here is, like, people are disagreeing, but I just want to follow the law and the due process that needs to be done for the cop. But like we said at the very early stages, if this guy would, the irony of the protest, hands up, don't shoot. If he would have put his hands up and just obeyed, this situation wouldn't have happened either.
Yep.
But they're going and protesting saying, hands up, don't shoot. But we don't practice that in real life. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. I'm going to open it up. If people want to hop on, you got about 10 minutes to get on here if you want to get on here and talk, and then I'm going to end the show for tonight. It's in the link. I got it pinned on YouTube. It's also on the Hot Mike Sunni chat. Click the link and come on in. He did not get shot. This is what I'm talking about. He didn't get got. He got pepper sprayed, and he got pepper sprayed because he didn't listen to anything officer said. And once again, he's not active duty. He couldn't say where his base was. He couldn't really say what his job was. You're a medic and you don't know how long it takes for pepper spray to wear off. You don't know that water is going to make it worse. Your insignia is nowhere near on your uniform. He wasn't even wearing the up-to-date BD uniforms that Army wears. It has nothing to do with race and everything to do with you not listening. He prolonged that entire situation. It's like far too long. Good, I won't be up till 3 a.m. I didn't think I was live that long. Why don't you just click the link, bro?
Come on.
It's
Come on
easier
here,
to have a conversation. My husband's active duty. I see these people every day, all day. I know what their uniforms look like.
That's a friend of my friend. So come on here, dude. Like, come on here. He has also been in, I want to say it was the Army also. But so he's been active, but come on here and come talk. Let's talk it out.
They're not protesting, they're riots. Much different, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look at these people. They're just acting a fool.
Look at them partying. Yo, they're listening to music, dancing, and carrying on. They don't care about
No, exactly.
Daunte Wright.
Exactly. Well,
and they're saying, fuck the police. Listen to these police.
Well, of course they are.
Playing NWA, bro.
All power to the people, man.
See, that's what I'm saying is like the optics of them doing what they should be doing right now is so bad that they can't do it. But that's what those cops are doing right there. Chasing them down. That's exactly what they should be doing. They should shut this motherfucker down. They should just be like, you have fucking 2 minutes to get the fuck out of here, or we're gonna start ringing people up and we're gonna start arresting people and just start clinking them up. If you're standing there taunting the fucking police at night, you're a suspect. It's like, I hate to be brash, but like, this is not a fucking protest. And this, like, these dudes with the cameras, everybody's just there for their own interest. Some people are there for clout. Some people are there just to taunt. It's like, make an announcement on the loudspeaker. Like, you have 2 minutes to vacate the area, and then boom.
They did that last night, man. They did that last night in front of the police station. And these people, they stayed. You know how many times they got tear gas? They got rubber bulleted, and they were just standing there.
We have the technology. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, look, it's like, this is what's about to happen. Like, you have 2 minutes to evacuate this area, or we're going to tear gas this fucking place. If you're here, you will be detained. Like, you have 2 minutes. Turn the fucking light on. Get the fuck out of here. And that's it,
man.
And just ring them up. Like, it's fucking 11:30 at night. This is fucking stupid. This is
in a residential area, by the way.
You're squandering money. These people are out here listening to music and shit. Get the fuck out of here. This is fucking insane. Like, this is not. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's some times where I'm like, these people are assholes. This is not a protest. Protest during the day. These people are a threat. They're sitting there taunting the cop. That guy standing right there. Arrest that motherfucker right now. Like, they're like, dog, you better back the fuck up. Like, the fact that these guys are standing there so stoic as these dudes just taunt them is like, they don't need to do that. I don't know. Who's the bootlicker? Me?
I don't know. Constitutional editor. So I'm assuming because you're telling cops to do their job, you're a bootlicker because they believe, well, they're not doing nothing. They're practicing their First Amendment right. They're allowed to have this. They're allowed to go peacefully protest. They're not protesting, bro. They're over there turning up saying fuck the police.
They're taunting.
You're not protesting.
Yeah, they're not protesting. A protest can be peaceful. A protest can be during the day. I mean, what's the purpose of a protest? A protest is to get media coverage to draw attention to a cause. I mean, what's the definition of protest? I mean, because this could be just as effective during the day. You could speak to all those news outlets. You could sit there and do an interview. Here's why I'm here. I'm here because of these reasons. You could have a sign that would be legible. I mean, I'm going to look at the definition. A statement or action expressing disapproval or objection to something. Okay, I guess technically it's a protest because they're objecting, but I don't know. Whatever. I just think that it's objective by any rational human being that this would be made way more effective during the day, and this just gives them under the guise of night more of an ability to cause harm.
Look at this dude, bro. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. You telling me he's mourning? Oh, they didn't, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter. 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 Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
See, and that's the other thing is like you could be there protesting without taunting the police. So that's what I'm saying is like all those people that are standing there taunting them is like that's a lot different.
Told you. He's a constitution. Told you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that the Constitution is very important, and I'm all for it. But I don't know that you can taunt a police officer. I don't know that you can taunt a police officer in a riot, and that's in the Constitution. I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying, but like, here's the thing: the cops aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything. It's not like they're just ringing people up. I'm saying move people out of that area.
Casey, can you send your friend the link? He said he'd be on here in a minute.
Yeah, I did. I got it.
Okay.
I sent it to him. He hasn't viewed it yet, so we'll see.
So give me a minute. You can TikTok, man. TikTok.
But I agree. The thing is guys, we got to look at this situation. Again, we said it last night. These are opportunists. Mm-hmm. Bobby repeated it again tonight. These are opportunists. And they're just trying to, hey, man, I sent it to you on Facebook. Just look at your inbox. He just barely messaged. If you want to throw it. Oh, he just viewed it. So he's like, okay. But these are opportunists not really protesting. They were protesting realistically during the day, during the light. But the people that do this in the dark are not the same people. Right. These are not the same people. They do not need any support or backing. They need to go home or in jail.
Facts.
And here's the other thing too. So somebody said in the comments, they're like, there's a curfew in effect. So they're already breaking the law by simply being there. So it's like, I don't know that that's a constitutional infringement. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know.
It's like people want a freaking free for all, like the Wild Wild West out here. Well, the Constitution says we can do it. So cops doing their job. You're infringing on my rights. And that's another dangerous path to go down. When you read the Constitution and you completely ignore that, yes, we have a Constitution to guide us as a country, but states and cities also have their laws and ordinances and things that matter. And if there's a curfew and you're still out past the curfew, cops have every right to do whatever they want to do with you, especially if you're out there causing havoc. I'm sorry.
Here's a question too. Sorry to cut you off. What is the significance of where they are? It looks like they're at a fucking gas station. Like, where are they?
I have no clue.
Dude,
I think these are all spots that they're potentially looting, and cops are stopping them from doing so.
Got it.
Yeah.
And that to me is even more of a sign. If they were not in the downtown area, which could be reasonably monitored and controlled to some degree, protests. But again, it's like, okay, then bring the curfew into it. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of dicey things here that are more legal stuff that I don't understand with depth. But considering what happened last night, it's just like these people are taunting. I saw a guy pick up like a 30-pound, 40-pound piece of concrete. And like he was about to throw it at the cop. They were like, "Don't do it, dude." And they shot him with a rubber bullet. And people are like, "Hey, man!" It's like, what do you want me to do? Smash the cop's skull apart? Like, what do you want? What were you wanting him to wave for? I don't know, man. I just hate everything.
Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing?
Appreciate it. How y'all doing?
Good. I can't complain.
A lot better than Minneapolis right now.
Look, I'm a lot better than half of the U.S. So I'm not complaining. I'm good.
No, I appreciate you guys for letting me on.
Yeah,
I've been blowing up your little chat, so I tend to do that from time to time at night. But no, I just want to kind of set some of the things straight. I'm not a pro or expert on anything, but when it came to the guy in Virginia, the lieutenant, that is the correct uniform. That's the BDU. So just kind of clarification. I was in the Army 13 years. I got out 2016. So
okay. Can I stop you real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, and I'll let you continue. So there's been an update on ABUs and BDUs across the board. Like that color BDU that he's wearing is not the same. BDU. An Army BDU?
That's the OCP.
Okay, but
so they transitioned
the patterns, right?
Yeah,
the colors and the 5 years ago. So it's a lighter color than that one. That's completely different than what I see every day.
No, that's which one do you see every day then?
It's the sand colored ones.
That's so like the one that he's wearing is the same one that I wore in Afghanistan. So but that's semantics. But you are right. He is he's not active duty, he's National Guard. But on the center chest is where his rank was. So he is a second lieutenant. You can see it in some of the clips. And I'm not going to excuse some of the stuff that he did. I mean, he probably should have, listened. But when you look at police interactions, especially with people of color, it's hard to say, hey, if he didn't do this or if he didn't do that. Because in the past, there have been situations where things have happened when they did do this or did do that. So I can see how the argument can be flipped both ways. And so, you look at his situation where his hands were outside the window and he said, hey, I'm afraid if I reach down, I don't know what's going to happen if I reach for this or reach for that. And I've been in similar situations. I'm not saying I was out here breaking the law or do anything illegal, but I can definitely understand the feeling of being someone of color stopped by the police, because you don't know what's going on through his mind. And if you start looking at like policing in general, it's pretty difficult to be a police officer, right? And I respect police officers 100%. It's difficult though. You have to have good credit. You got to have a college degree or at least have X amount of college credit. And you can't have anything in your background. And so that kind of just eliminates 95% of the people out there who are applying, or a large percentage. I'm not going to say 95. That's a misstatement by me. But you have to look at like these people are coming into communities that are not their own, or who they've seen or participated in their past lives versus coming into being a police officer. It's different. And so now what you see is what you've perceived to be what it's like. And so you really have a lot of lack of communication. I know like in Fort Worth, I have a friend who's a police officer, and she talks about how the community is engaged. They have police officers who come out in plain clothes and talk to people, so what's going on in your neighborhoods. And I think that's really a problem. The police officers are hidden behind a lot of things. And I'm I'm not blaming the police officers. I think they're doing a difficult job with, and it's hard to do what they're doing 100%. It's unfortunate, but I think you're right when, a police officer, shoots, or she had the taser. How do you distinguish between having a taser and having a gun? The difference. I know the difference. And anyone else, you pick both of them up, you can tell the difference immediately, whether you've been doing it for 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. There's a huge difference in the weight. And so I don't know if she should be guilty of manslaughter or first degree or whatever. I don't know what she's guilty of, but even if it's discharging a weapon and she goes to prison for a year, I mean, she's guilty of something. I just don't know what. And I think, who's it, Bobby? I think you're right. I don't know enough about the law, but there's something that happened. Someone died and someone has to pay. And I don't know who, or I mean, we know who, but we don't know what or how. And that's the most unfortunate situation.
Right. So what are, in this situation, I pulled up this video because I know Bobby hasn't seen it. So
Okay.
I'm just going to run it in the background so you can see what's going on. But he says, okay, I wanted to pull over because I'm not in a well-lit area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want to be safe. So once you got to that safe spot, okay, what was the issue with you getting out and following commands? Like,
well,
I don't know. I've been,
yeah. Well, you look at it.
Over.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've been pulled over. My husband's been pulled over. I've never been in a situation where I've felt scared of a police officer, especially when you're not doing anything. Now, like I said earlier in the feed, what the media puts out would scare the crap out of people. Yes. Yeah. But is that a reality of like what's actually going on? Like, why couldn't he get out?
Well, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to speak for this situation. Well, hold on, back up. So when I was 17 years old, I grew up in Yuma, Arizona. And I don't know about you, but there's not many people of color there. And so I grew up in a pretty predominantly rural area, 150,000 people. And I was with my friend and we were watching someone's house. Neighbors called the police on us because they saw us go inside the house with a key and they didn't know, what was going on. Pull us out of, we were leaving, pull us out of the vehicle and got a pretty good shakedown. So you just never know. I mean, it all depends. Like there's so many circumstances. It depends on the community you're in. If you're in Hawaii, he does have chin fuzz. That's a National Guard for you. If you're in, Hawaii, you're not going to get the same treatment as if you're in New York City. There's different variables at work. And I don't know your community, versus some of these communities. And it's telling that, a lot of these interactions happen in inner city communities. And why is that?
Well, what were cops supposed to do in this incident? You have a man that's directly defying, get out of the car, and he has a weapon in the car. Like we have to factor in these things. You have a weapon in the car. Yeah. Why are you not getting out, bro? They have guns drawn. That's because they practice that specific protocol there. He doesn't have an identifiable license plate. It's nighttime. You drive 2 miles. It wasn't even 1 mile. It was 2 miles. You pass by how many well-lit areas and you still won't get out the car. What are they supposed to do? They don't want to deal with him already on top. It's because he's black.
Well, so if the video, you keep going, when they start interviewing him, you can see in the top right corner of his vehicle, his tags. So they're there. I mean, if you're going to cite him for
them, that's the issue. They couldn't see them.
Yeah. But at the same time, like the way the police officers are positioned, they called in a felony stop. So if you're already on a felony stop, you're not, the second officer who's there just kind of standing there, like he doesn't seem too worried. His gun isn't drawn right now. So a felony stop, you would have different positioning than what they are. So there's a lot of inconsistencies in this stop, number one, and in what's going on. So it's just, and I see someone
it's
saying
bad policing,
improper
of course.
display. Every state is different and how you display. I mean, I live in Texas. I see different displays all the time.
I just don't understand where, like, they're saying, sir, please put your hands behind your back. Sir, please get down.
This whole situation, I can't hear what the guy's saying.
Yeah.
Every single thing that this dude is doing without hearing his words seems wholly unavoidable. Or avoidable, wholly avoidable. This dude could have just complied and just got out. He has a camera on himself. I don't know. You're just going to assume that they're going to murder you.
He's resisting.
So if he's in the wrong, why is the police officer fired?
Because I'm telling you, given the
police officer got fired for this?
Yes.
Yeah, he got fired for this, which I think is completely ridiculous.
Wow, that's
because he didn't follow commands. He got fired because he filed a lawsuit and said that this happened to him because he's black. You give other people, you take away from other people's experiences that might actually be mistreated because they're black when you do crap like this. You also, in my opinion, paint the military in a bad way because you, sir, already take commands every day. So you should know, let me get out. Let me call my first shirt. Well, that's what it is in the Air Force, battalion commander, and let's get this situation dealt with. You're a lieutenant. You're supposed to know better. There's no excuse for what he did. And I'm pissed off that the officer got fired.
Yep.
They're making it a race thing, and I can't see it.
Look at the date in the top. Like, why is this coming out now?
Media.
Floyd.
It's to paint, it's optics. It's to paint a picture of black men always being targeted by cops. And I'm sorry, but that's so far. 13 people died unarmed last year due to cops. And every one of those situations had somebody fighting or resisting. Two or three of them, there was a weapon found at the scene. You have a weapon in this car.
So it's against the law to have a weapon in your car. Is that what you're saying?
I never said that. I'm just saying.
So after the fact, after they were, whatever was going on, there was a gun in the car, or if they were resisting, is it should you lose your life over resisting?
He didn't lose his life.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you said 13
nobody
people
lost their
killed.
life because they resisted. They lost their life because they were deemed a threat for fighting. If they were truly scared, they would comply with everything the officer said.
Yeah.
He did not comply. He blatantly resisted. Like he wouldn't go down.
Looks like
you're fighting. Comply, bro. Even the cop on the scene, this is about a 30-minute video. He said, look, if you would have just got out and talked to us, we would have sent you on your way.
Yep.
I don't want to sit here and do this with you, but you're making it difficult. You're putting me on high alert because you won't get out the car. I don't know what you got in there. I don't understand why you're acting the way you are. Where's the responsibility on him? He seems to get a slap on the wrist. Well, you're black, so sorry.
Well, and here's the thing that's interesting, right? Let's compare this situation to what happened yesterday. Let's just compare it. There were different results, but if we actually look at it, they both resisted. They both didn't follow directions. And if we would have actually followed what Black Lives Matter is protesting and Antifa is protesting tonight, hands up, don't shoot, and just actually listened, there would have been no problem in both incidents. Yeah. Zero. Nothing would have happened. They would have got whatever ticket or car impounded, whatever was deserved for the situation. That would have happened. No one would have been sprayed with pepper spray. No one would have been fired. And no one would have died. It's that simple. I don't get it.
I feel like cops are helpless. Like, what are they? Nothing that they do is right.
Yeah.
Nothing.
This is personal. It's personal responsibility to me. I haven't listened to what the guy was saying, but to me, it looks like this dude set himself up and created a problem for himself. He put the camera right in his own car. He filmed it. He knew he was being filmed. I just think that this is a wholly avoidable situation. No, people bring lawsuits for all types of shit. Somebody sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot. The existence of a lawsuit proves absolutely nothing.
Facts.
That's facts.
I mean,
the cop is the loser in this situation, and the taxpayers of that city are the loser because they're going to end up paying millions of dollars to this guy. And I'm sure.
Yep.
Let me just roll the dice. How much you want to bet this dude's lawyer is crumpets? It always is. Fucking guy's a grifter.
I don't think so. I remember seeing on the news it was a white guy with a long beard.
Well, good. Then at least
it was his cousin.
At least Crumpets is not getting more money from the black community at their expense.
He was difficult. All right, he was difficult. They asked him, "I'm sorry, but if I was a cop, I think I would have snatched his ass out the car too. I had told you 6-7 times to get your butt out the car, and you still gonna sit there and question me? You're stopping my investigation. Get out. Let's talk. Go home." But you have a sense of entitlement because you're black and because of the nature of what's happening in this country. A lot of people feel like they don't have to listen, and you do. You want to go home? You're going to do everything to go home. If you don't, you're going to be difficult like this guy. And he used his color. Like the guy that was even dealing with him was Hispanic. It wasn't even a white officer. So tell me, where is the racism in this?
Perception is half the battle.
I'm still waiting to see his insignia. I don't even see it on the front.
It's in the middle of his chest.
He doesn't get a pass for me, bro. Don't you dare use your skin color. I watched this and I was like, man, this is messed up. Like, why are they acting like this? And then I got the details of the story. I'm like, oh, okay. So you can't see the license plate. Oh, that's automatically a felony because I can't see your license plate. It's not visible. Is this car stolen or not? They had every right to pull him over. You go 2 extra miles to stop. I'm on high alert.
I want to say a few more minutes. You'll see the tag in the top right corner of the window. You'll see it. It's clear.
But cops can't see that from the back. That's the issue. They can't see that.
But here's the thing. They're behind the vehicle now, right? When they pulled up, they could have said, okay, I see your tags. Let me run that.
But he was difficult. He wouldn't get out the car.
Before that even began. So they're behind the vehicle, right? The gun's drawn. The tag's in the top right corner. You couldn't run the tags then?
No, you need to get out the car and follow police commands.
No. Not the soldier, the police officers. You couldn't run the tags then. You could have said, "Hey, put your car in park, put your hands out the window, whatever. Hey, you run the tags." Because if you listen to the video after this, the police officer says, "Hey, this, that, and the third, your people versus our people type," and it's like, you shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that.
That's
what he's doing over. It's not
statement. What he said your people versus my people. What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
So he said your people versus our people. So you could take it one of 2 ways. I mean, you could take it police officers versus civilians, black versus white, however you paint it. He can paint it as that's how I viewed it and sell it to 12 people and 12 people agree. Then someone's in the wrong.
I understand what you're saying. The officer made a mistake. He didn't see the tag, right? Clear. Fine. Why couldn't you just comply and then come back to the officer and be like, "Look, bitch, it's in my window." That's all you need to do. I've done that on the side of the freeway to myself. I argued with a police officer over my 5% tint on my windows. I did. I argued with him on the side of a freeway, but I still complied. Him and I just had a very blunt conversation. And why couldn't he do this?
I don't know. It always seems to be the person. Well, why couldn't cops do this? Well, why couldn't cops do this? No. Why couldn't you listen?
Yeah.
Why is there any excuse for him? Why didn't you listen? The cops didn't see your tag. So listen and go home. This is like a bunch of beta male energy. You know, why are you doing this to me? Crying and carrying on. I'm a veteran. How dare you do this to me? You're a veteran. How dare you defy an order as to get out and put your hands up and let's get this over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that if he would have just complied, this wouldn't have happened?
Right.
Or wouldn't have been fired, right?
Right. Personal responsibility is uncommon. Like, I understand that I'm white and didn't have any choice in that. I'm a white male. But when I get pulled over, I pull over. The second they ring me up, I turn the dome light on in the car. I fucking turn any music off. I roll both windows down on both sides. I put my hands on the steering wheel and I patiently wait facing forward and I make no movement and I wait. When the cop comes up to my window, I look over and if they say license and registration, I say, my license is in my wallet. It's in my back pocket. May I reach for it? My registration is in my glove box. May I reach for it? I mean, what the fuck?
See,
I mean, is that fucking difficult? Like, fuck off. It's just, this is bullshit. It's personal.
Who was the guy in Minnesota who said, I have a gun in the car and the whole thing was streamed and he was shot by the police officer?
Yes.
That is a scenario.
And so, yeah. Different. So I get what you're saying, Bobby. I think you're absolutely right. But there's, you're educated to your point. And I think that's, educated to the umpteenth degree, but not everybody is that common sense, or what we like to say is common sense.
Has a white guy ever gotten shot by a cop?
Absolutely.
Well, then what are we talking about? Yes, there's extenuating circumstances. You can get struck by lightning, but I'm just saying this situation, like most of these situations, are avoidable. And I'm just saying that this one, as far as I can see, seems like an avoidable situation. It's personal responsibility. I understand he's black, but I don't know. I just don't. And I get it. I can't not be white. And I understand that that's my lens. And a lot of people, I've had people tell me that that's their beef with me, that I can't see the world, what it's like in other people's shoes. But looking at this objectively, it's like, this is an avoidable situation, skin color or not. And I think that personal responsibility in this isolated situation. So it's like, okay, so what? He acts differently because that one guy got shot in that one situation. It's like, why? He's afraid. Okay, that's fine. I understand that he's afraid, but that doesn't mean that he needs to act differently as a result. So if he's going to get shot, then he was going to get shot anyways. Why not comply? Is the cops just going to come up and murder him? I don't know. I just think that that's highly unlikely. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just a white guy. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what it's like, and I empathize with you, and I'm trying not to be harsh about it. But it's like the guy's on camera, they're on camera, everybody's got body cams, it's well lit. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't have me personally, I don't have patience for he was black anymore. Like, I don't, bro. Yeah. I've watched too many white men get obliterated by cops, and those cops get off scot-free. I've watched too many white people suffer the same fate as Philando Castile, George Floyd. I've seen it too much for this to ever be labeled as a problem against black people. That's a crock of shit, man. It's a crock of shit. If we were so afraid of cops, we would not be over 50% of all the homicides in this country come from black people. We are the number one killer of Asians. Yet it's labeled as white people murdered them. That's a crock of shit.
Right. Well, and there you go. Like, there's the flip of the point. Well, what if those cops were afraid that he was going to murder them? I mean, it's just like, if we just box everybody in with this race stuff, it's like, I think that it's made more than obvious. And like, I haven't seen that video until now. I didn't hear what the guy said, but even when the guy was out of the car, they were trying to put the cuffs on him and he's like resisting the cuffs. I mean, that's the type of behavior where you're causing a problem. I just don't understand. I don't understand that. And to me, that's not a skin color issue. That's that guy issue. And
What's your name? I don't want to get your name wrong. Sorry, Bobby. Is it just LT?
Yeah, I'm just going with LT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Bobby, I think you're right and wrong. I think when you look at like a situation where, George Floyd, was knelt on for however many minutes, for however many long, for whatever reason, that's playing through your mind. Just like, the woman who shot the what's his name? The guy yesterday, that's playing through your mind. Okay. So these scenarios in the past are playing through your mind. So if this is how I'm going to go out, I'm going to struggle until I go out. And I don't know what's going on through his mind. And I don't know why he didn't comply.
Go out? Why does he have to die? It's a traffic stop.
But
where's he going out?
But
What's
the same thing could have been said about George Floyd.
Yeah, no, George Floyd was high on fentanyl and meth. He was resisting arrest. The guy was fucking out of his mind. He was resisting arrest. He was saying he couldn't breathe. He begged the cop to not put him inside the car. He tried to escape the car. It's not like the guy was just standing there and Chauvin just kneeled on his neck. George Floyd is like 6'3". Chauvin is inches objectively smaller than that. This dude is huge. This dude is a large, able-bodied, strong individual that is resisting arrest and acting crazy. It's like, what did you? He just kneeled on the guy's neck. He was begging to not be in the car. I mean, it's like, I don't know, man.
I must have very bad vision to see where he was, out here out of control.
You didn't watch the whole video. There's a 45-minute. There's a 45-minute video of George Floyd acting a fool and cops trying to work with him. Okay, buddy, we'll put you in the car. Okay, you want to lay down? Okay. He gets out of the car. They rolled down the windows. They worked with him.
Right.
Why do we keep giving this? Makes the black community look terrible. We constantly give excuses for criminals all the time, bro.
Yes.
All of us will probably agree George Floyd didn't deserve agree. George Floyd did not deserve to die. 100%.
Sure, agreed.
The thing is, there's many things you can look at in this scenario about George Floyd, and that's we can go on all day about this. There's a court case going on that's showing everything. I have beef and I have problems with the way the officers handled the situation. The officers knew he had no pulse after kneeling on him for 6 minutes, and they still kneeled on him. That is my problem with this situation. And you look at it and you start looking at things. Yeah, things could have been done better. Absolutely. But he, first of all, one was using a counterfeit bill. So he was going to run into some issue somewhere if he gets caught, right? Mm-hmm. And then clearly was not behaving like a normal human being because he's crying and saying he can't breathe even before he's even put in a car.
Yep. George Floyd was 6'4". Chauvin was, I believe, the tallest cop there. He's 5'9", $150. This dude is 6'4". This dude is 7 inches taller than him. I mean, like, this dude could kick his ass. And no one's saying that he should die, but it's like there's all of these things that led up to this. And it's like he also said that he couldn't breathe before the cop touched him. The angle of the camera that shows where Chauvin was kneeling showed that his knee was actually rested on his shoulder blade, and he had his other knee down on the ground as well. I mean, I'm not justifying it, and this is going to play out in court, but it's like to say like, oh well, like what about George Floyd? That this guy is going to suffer the same fate simply because he's black is just, I think, so unfair. It's like there's probably countless other tales of white people being killed by the cops that haven't had the same amount of media attention. That for me to just say, well, I saw all these white people X, so therefore I'm going to act differently in this police stop than any normal human, any reasonable individual should act despite skin color, I think is just unfair. Maybe 50 years ago, but not right now.
I'm curious to see, what's the protocol if someone is high on drugs, or they suspect, what was done, what kind of call did you make into the dispatch? What kind of message did you write in? And so if you assumed it and you suspected it, why did you not go for, what's it called? I can't think of the name, but why, I didn't see any of the transcripts about anything that said, we need someone who's ODing on whatever. And you're right. I mean, the officer could have been scared of George Floyd. But I didn't, a lot of the drugs they didn't talk about it till after the fact.
You won't know until after the fact, right? You can't do a drug test right there as the guy's freaking out, and yelling and screaming at you, telling you can't breathe, resisting being arrested and being put in a car. How do you know? Do you know if this guy is normal, if he's had a mental issue, or if he's on drugs? You don't know.
And George Floyd had a history of violent action. He held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. I mean, the guy did a bid. I mean, it's like how many statistics?
The police don't know that though.
Why do they not know that?
Well, they didn't know. Like initially, the cops at the scene did not know that he has this in his history.
Why not?
Are you sure about that?
Some did. Because I guarantee you, some ran his plates, but the initial 2 guys didn't run his plates. They just talked to the manager and walked straight to him at the car.
Right.
So yes, I agree with you. The initial 2 people, Derek Chauvin showed up after when they're trying to put him in the vehicle, and I guarantee you, plates were ran and there was an understanding of their situation.
Mm-hmm. So what do you say about the past of Derek Chauvin? All the things that have come out.
I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying.
But no, you're absolutely right. But you're using the past of one person against the other. So both could be culpable in this. And so one is dead.
One they're not.
They could, and I understand that logic. But at the same time, Derek Chauvin is a law enforcement officer that was only there based on George Floyd's actions to begin with. It's not like it's just 2 civilians standing in a field. It's like he was there for that purpose. So even though, yes, his past should be considered, it's like cops as far as I can understand, cops get complaints against themselves all the time. And what's the difference between those complaints? If somebody's upset that they got arrested, couldn't they just file a complaint? So I think there's a lot of different things that will shake out in court about this, but I just think that there's more than enough evidence that I can see that even though he may have done the wrong thing, I believe that move that he was doing was sanctioned and he was trained to do that way. I believe the Minneapolis Police Department trained them to do that. So it's like, I don't know.
Welcome, Corey.
Thanks for tuning me in. How y'all doing?
No problem.
What's up, Casey?
What up, dude? Long time no see.
Man, you the man. You fixed my problem. See that? I'm here now. I'm not blinking out or nothing.
Here you go, blaming white people again.
So, so LT was watching, and I invited him to come on because he was talking about the video that we just did. And apparently, I'm gonna make an assumption a little bit because I'm not really sure where you stand, but just from talking to you, it seems that you think this is happening to Black people on a crazy level. Like it's pretty common. So now Black people or Black men are afraid of cops because of what they see on TV. Because real life statistics prove TV wrong. So am I right in your assumption of things? In my assumption, as far as what you think about the police and dealing with Black men?
To me or LT?
I'm talking about LT because I know how you feel.
I was gonna say what?
No, and I was saying, not so much what Black men see on TV, but what police officers see. But both goes both ways, and so I don't think it's happening at a large disproportionate effect that there's white cops going out for black men, crazy amounts of numbers or whatnot. Does it happen? Yes. The ones that we see are caught on camera. Yes. But it's not, just the statistics, they don't play out just because there's more people who are white, period, and so I don't think there's white officers going out with impunity seeking out Black men. I don't think that's true. But the interactions, there's a lot. I won't say there's a lot more. The interactions, why aren't we seeing more, white men killed like this? And that's my question. It's not me making a statement. Why don't we see that more? Why are interactions between police officers and black men, and I'm not saying all police officers are white, but why are they more violent or more rougher?
Okay.
That's really mine. It's more of a probing question, not so much a statement question.
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The media doesn't show it, which is why you don't know about it, because I gave you 4 different men that suffered the same fate as George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Philando Castile. Who else got shot? Oscar Grant. I can go down the list. There's Daniel Schaefer, Ryan Whitaker. A young man was sleeping in his bed. Cops decided to do a raid. They shot him. He's dead. Cops still got a job. I can't think of his name, but he was a teenager. Another kid sitting in his car. Cops are doing something around the area. He gets shot. It's not just happening to black people. You look at Tony Timpa. He was beat the hell up by cops, and they straight up laughed at him on the body camera. And this is a white man. So it's not cops just being rougher with black people. I will say 100%. When black folks are pulled over, they got a whole attitude, an entire attitude. Why are you pulling me over? What you messing with me for? What do you think that's going to do to the cop?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you acting like this, bro? All I'm doing is pulling you over. You have a poor attitude because of what you see on TV, but that doesn't translate to life. Life is, we got bad cops, we got bad politicians, we got bad teachers. There's bad people everywhere. And right now they're carrying the torch. They have the loudspeaker, and the rest of us, good people, white and black on both sides, are suffering because this country and this nation is not racist. So to answer your question, it's not on TV. They don't blast it for you to see it 24/7.
Exactly.
I find it far more racist that you keep putting black men on TV to get me riled up because of what?
Money.
It's ratings. Nobody cares about a white man getting killed by cops because black folks, some, don't like black people, and that doesn't get the media paid. So what's going to get the media paid? Emotional, irrational. Black folks is going to watch this. They're going to go out and destroy their own neighborhoods, their own small businesses, and we ain't got to do nothing. You're going to self-destruct by yourself.
It seems that we need to start attacking the mainstream media.
Yes.
Because what LT said, this is what I think where the difference is at. So like you take a guy like Bobby Wright, you know what I'm saying? And he can't, like, it's hard for him to see it through our lens. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And I get it, because what he's saying is 100% correct. No argument, no debate about that. He's 100%. But LT, on the other hand, he see through the same lens that I see through, right? So I remember, like I said on the show earlier, we was on Sunni, that at one time in my life, I was convinced that the police, it was against us and that they was just ready to kill us. Not just because of what I've seen on TV, but because of a couple experiences that I had with the police. I had 2 pretty bad ones. One, the police beat me up. But, listen, I was doing wrong, but that still does not give him the right to do what he did to me, right? Mm-hmm. And these things went unreported. And you know why I didn't report it? Because I didn't want no heat on me. I didn't want them coming to the hood bothering me about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just left it alone. So I understand what LT is saying, but we also got to understand that this thing is blown way out of proportion. And so especially then, when we were that young and running around the streets, there was no social media. There was nobody to tell us, listen, this shit is fake. All we knew is what we saw on TV and what we believed. So we were afraid to pull over for the police in dark areas and stuff like that. I mean, I went through the same thing. It's like in my mind, when I'm traveling and I go through these neighborhoods, just like these, what you call redneck towns and it's all dark and shit. I'd be like, whatever you do, don't get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? So that's still in my head. You know what I'm saying? Even now that I know that the statistics are way exaggerated. So I understand what LT said is, and it's not to a degree, not that I want to give black people an excuse, but to a degree, it's not our fault.
Yeah, you understand. I understand it. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's mainstream media. You know what I'm saying? it's rough, but thank God for social media. Thank God for people like you, Suni. Thank God for what we're doing, because now we can expose this and get it out there and kill the narrative that the white cops are out to kill us, because it's not true.
Right.
Yeah, it's not true. I agree.
Yeah.
So this would be my challenge to you. If you type in Google, and I wouldn't suggest you use Google, but if you Google white man killed by cop, if you Google white man killed by cop, the only thing you're gonna see is every black person imaginable. I've tested it for myself. Look up Daniel Schaefer, Ryan Whitaker, and Tony Timpa. They died the exact same way that these men died. And cops weren't charged. The cop in Daniel Schaefer's case got off scot-free, completely acquitted, and he straight murdered this dude. Like, lit him up in a hallway of a hotel while this man is crying and begging for his life.
Oh man, that was like worse than all of them to me.
It's worse than George Floyd.
Yeah, it is. But can I say something though, Suni? I want to say something. And I know everybody might not agree with this, but I gotta say it anyway. I think that we got to be really careful about like what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
Because here's what's going on. We all know that George Floyd was a piece of shit, right? We all know that. But because he was a piece of shit, you got people saying like, but he was a drug dealer. He was this. He had a fake $20 bill. Listen, none of that stuff warranted for him to have a death sentence. And that, and in my eyes, I'm convinced that cop killed him, period. Now, you can say, okay, he was on drugs. He was this and this and that and that. But at the same time, why aren't the majority of the people saying, hey, even if he didn't, why did he put himself in that position and put his knee? They say it wasn't on his neck, but it was like on the back of his neck or whatever. You can still kill a person like that because you're applying pressure and you're stopping him from breathing. And then I keep hearing the excuse saying that, well, he said, like George Floyd said that they swallowed some drugs or something like that, and they couldn't really. It's back and forth about what he said. To me, it honestly sounded like he said that he swallowed a lot of drugs, but it could go the other way too, right? But the thing is, if the fact that he told the police that he swallowed drugs, wouldn't that be even more of a reason why you wouldn't have had your damn knee on his neck or on the back of his head? And you should have called an ambulance right away. The man was handcuffed. He was on the ground. I don't care if he was 6'20". You know what I'm saying? He can't get up. It's over. Why are you putting your knee on that man? You know what I'm saying? And I think that he should be held accountable. And here's why. Because if not, what's going to happen is forget about the riots, because that shit going to happen anyway, right? So if not, now the narrative is going to change, and it's going to let give the message to the cops that, hey, you know what? It's okay to, take them out if they was criminals, if they was doing something wrong. It's okay because society and the courts accept that shit. Just like the problem with the black people is that we think that every time a police pull us over, if we rile them up and get pepper sprayed or something, we can go down to the courtroom and we can sue them for millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is a narrative that need to be squashed, and it's getting dangerous on the other side of the fence also. So we need to be careful about that.
Facts. I agree with you. I don't know. I would just tell you to really do more research and like really look at what's happening across the country, because white people are suffering the same fate, man. And it's more.
I was going to say, actually, right now, white people are suffering probably more.
It's sad.
Well, yeah. I mean, my question at the end of the day is what needs to change? How do we make the change? We can say personal responsibility, and I agree, but how do we make that change?
I'll let Bobby answer this.
Start in elementary school and start changing people's perspective on how their life is going to go, instead of having them go through school and saying you're going to learn English, science, whatever, but giving them an opportunity to say, hey, you can learn a trade. There's a way out. I mean, if you have a job, number one, you're making money, you're less likely to do some of the things that put you in a situation where you're even in this situation. And I'm not accusing anyone, but my question always goes back to, how do we make this better? And I just don't see anyone stepping up to the plate and saying, this is how we make it better. This is what we should be doing. This is what is right by everyone. It's just he said, she said. I mean, my opinion, I think number one, you need to start taking away qualified immunity. You know, you see people in the military, they get war crimes, they go to prison. You know, they're sued, they're open to civil lawsuits, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you also need to start pulling back on the elected officials. You start putting in what do you call it? Stints, 2-3 times elected and you're out.
Term limits.
Term limits. There you go. Sorry, it's almost midnight here in Texas, but I think you need to start like having more people engaged in the community, more people just bringing ideas, and I think people are afraid. I think I just riled up Bobby. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's all I have a tough time being stoic. I think the qualified immunity thing is, I think you're going to have a lot more human suffering if you do that. I think that what's going to happen is that cops are going to be nervous to act, and more people are going to suffer, and more people are going to die, and a lot more horrible things are going to happen if you take away the qualified immunity. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm sure there's a lot of things to work on. I haven't read it myself, but I think if you take that away, you're just going to have cops that are going to be much more reluctant to act. As far as them being accountable, I mean, we're watching it point blank. The guy's being held accountable. I mean, I don't know. This guy pepper sprays a guy, does what objectively appears to be the right thing. Guy gets canned. I mean, think about your career. You know how much money and time and effort it takes to become a police officer, get up into that position. This is your entire life. That guy has a pension, and now it's gone. And now this guy has to go find a new skill, find a new trade. The guy is an older man. I mean, that the guy's life, he's financially ruined. I mean, there's so many things that are happening. So it's just like we keep blaming the police and not looking at the personal responsibility. I think that's the problem. Now, what's the solution? The solution is kind of it's all in one. It's smaller government is the answer to all of these problems, because smaller government means more control of your money in the hands of the taxpayers. It means more control. It means less control over the school systems, which are just indoctrination zones where they are educated on things that are not very relevant. You fix the schools, you fix the way that the children behave. Now you take away all the government incentives for single parent households, which I think objectively cause more of that to happen. It's the parents, it's more money in your pocket, it's smaller government, it's more personal responsibility, it's independent schooling like charter schools and things like that, and it goes back to the parents. And I think that if you have the nuclear family, I think that if you have more money in the pockets of the people, smaller government, and less government-run indoctrination centers, aka schools, public schools, I think that solves lots of the problems on their own. I think that the media is the last piece of it. That really is the kind of like one of the main proponents of this, is like the media doesn't work if we don't pay attention to it, and we can't all. It's kind of like recycling. It's like recycling doesn't work unless a lot of people recycle. It's the same thing with the media. It's just like we need to really stop giving attention to the media, stop watching it, stop consuming it, stop talking about it in a way, unless to talk about how bad it is, which is what we do. But I don't watch CNN. I don't consume mainstream media stuff. I don't pay any websites, any websites. So I think that those are the steps that are necessary, and just focusing on personal responsibility. These things are happening, but nobody's talking about the personal responsibility of the people that are happening. Nobody said that guy shouldn't have resisted arrest. Everybody's just talking about the woman and the taser and all this other stuff. Why are we not talking about him not doing that? So I think that it's all those things. But if I had to summarize it in one sentence, it would just be smaller government. I think that in and of itself solves a lot of these problems.
Bobby for president.
No,
thanks, man.
Facts, man. Like you're speaking my language. Like that's a libertarian view, as smaller government, less people being involved, let people govern themselves, and that is exactly how I believe. 100%. Libertarians in war, I do not agree with, but in how we run our country, that's where I stand.
Yep.
But it's on point. I think this was a good conversation, but I gotta say I'm going to bed because I gotta wake up early.
Yep.
Soon as gonna go on a drive. But I love you guys. Great conversation.
Hey, Casey,
Thanks for jumping on, LT, man.
Casey, you didn't hear me.
Sure.
You didn't hear me slip that in, did you?
What?
I ain't gonna tell you. Go back and watch it. You kick my ass later. No, don't worry about it.
Oh shit. Love you guys. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. I'm gonna do the same.
I have to get the kids, and I'm like, oh, they're talking, so I'll just get in from my car. But thank you guys for coming on. This was fun. It was a productive conversation. Thank you for coming on, LT. If you want to come back and have a conversation, we definitely do that. I think we need to do more talking across the board because a lot of confusion comes from people just lacking understanding of what you're saying. So thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it. And are you on the other side of the world? Because it looks sunny outside.
Yeah, I'm in Japan.
Oh, lucky.
All right, guys.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Dang, man. I'm doing it from my phone, so I don't got all the cues set up.
Oh, okay.